Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today we're going to look at two verbs, leave and let, which students often confuse. I'm not quite sure why this happens, but we'll look at the main mistake, which I hear, so you can avoid it too. We'll look at the meanings of both verbs, also useful phrases and phrasal verbs for each. And there's also another mistake which people might make with let, and we'll look at that too. Anyway, the mistake is up here, which I heard the other week. A student has a suitcase and says, "Can I let my bag here?" So just pause the video, try to correct the sentence. And well done if you said, "Can I leave my bag here?" This is going to be probably the most common and useful use of this verb. You don't take something, it stays where it is, and you go somewhere else. Either deliberately, like that example sentence, or accidentally. Myself, I always leave umbrellas on buses or trains accidentally. And it doesn't have to just be objects. If you have kids or dogs, you might leave them, not take them. They stay where they are, and you go somewhere nice. And then we use this with more abstract things, things we can't touch, more meaning cause to remain. So, for example, if someone isn't at home, you might leave a message for them. If someone's very interesting, they might leave an impression on you. If something bad or negative happens, you can say it leaves a bad or sour taste. And finally, if you have black trainers, they might leave a mark on a wooden floor, like this. We also use it to mean not touch or move something. So if you're not hungry, you might leave most or all of your dinner. You might say to someone, "Can you just leave that where it is, not move it?" And then we also use it in the structure leave someone or something plus verb ing, meaning go away and have that thing or person doing an activity. For example, I left the children watching TV and went to make dinner. Or with an object, the most common one is to leave a tap running. Make sure you don't leave a tap running and go out for the day because you'll waste lots of water. So let's now look at some more phrases, phrasal verbs with the verb leave. They're all going to follow a general meaning. One thing stays where it is and something else goes away from it. So going back to that example of leave the tap running, you could also say leave the tap on, mean not turn off. Sometimes this is deliberate. Someone's coming over to your house late. You might leave a light on for them, but generally it's because you forget. Make sure you don't leave an iron or the oven on because you might start a fire. Then we have leave out, not include someone or something. If this is people, generally it's going to be kids not being involved in things like games or activities. So the boy was left out of the game. This can also be a feeling. Feel left out, not feel included. The boy felt left out when they didn't ask him to play. And if it's for things, it's going to be used for information, like details. She left a lot of details out of the report. And finally, we have leave someone or something alone. Either meaning allow to be by themselves, usually you're using that with me, can you leave me alone, or to not bother or disturb someone or something. I like using Simpsons as the example. Here, the guy is asking Homer to not bother or disturb the bird. So that's the meaning of leave. When someone or something stays where it is, and you or another thing goes somewhere else, make sure you use the verb leave and not let, which for some reason students do a lot. Let's now look at the meaning of let. This generally you're going to use to talk about permission with the phrase let someone or something plus infinitive. So for example, when I was a child, my parents let me play in the street, but they didn't let me stay out late. Basically the same as the verb allow, just a difference in structure. Allow someone or something to infinitive. So you can say, my parents allowed me to play in the street, but we wouldn't say, my parents let me to play in the street. And while allow can be used in the passive, let can't. So you can say, I was allowed to play in the street, but we don't say, I was let play in the street. So again, let's look at some useful phrases, phrasal verbs with the verb let. Just pause the video, look at these sentences here, think about the context and what the highlighted phrasal verbs, phrases in purple mean. The general meaning is all about either allowing something or often releasing someone or something. And well done for the first one. If you said let it slide, means to ignore something bad and not take any action. Often this is going to be punishment when a student doesn't do their homework. And the next two kind of go together, either meaning allow to enter or allow to leave, sometimes deliberately, so opening the door to let Steve in, or leaving the gate open and accidentally letting the cat out. And then to let someone or something go means to release, either literally with an object like a balloon, or if you let a person go, it means that person loses their job, even if they didn't do anything wrong. And we also use this figuratively to talk about something negative, like a breakup or your team loses in the final. Then to let off steam, again, is to release frustration or stress. I think working out is a good way to let off some steam. And then let down means to disappoint. If it's people, I would use the phrasal verb. So when my friend didn't pick me up from the airport, he let me down. Things can disappoint you as well. I would use this though in a noun with the words squashed together, a letdown. So I was excited for the film, but it was a real letdown. And then finally, let up, quite an advanced phrasal verb to mean decrease in severity or intensity. It rained all day and didn't let up until the evening. Anyway, explanation over. Hopefully the difference between those two verbs is clearer and you now know some nice new language. Before we do a bit of practice, if you found the video useful, interesting, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and maybe share the video with others. Your help getting this channel to grow would be much appreciated. Anyway, when you're ready, let's practice and improve. Just pause the video and put one of those verbs or phrases, phrasal verbs with those verbs into the gaps. Remember that you might have to change the form of the verb, past, verb ing, etc. And well done. If you said, have you ever left something like an iron or the oven on in your house and then gone out? What didn't your parents let you do when you were a child? Have you ever left something like an umbrella on a bus or train? Then how might colleagues, co-workers let others down and disappoint them? Which teachers left a good impression on you? And finally, how do you like to let off steam when you're stressed or frustrated? Just pause the video, choose one of those questions. Again, maybe one where you didn't know the language as well, and write an answer in the comments. As ever, guys, it's good for you to practice the language and good for my algorithm. Anyway, that's basically it for today. I hope it was useful for you. Thanks ever for your continued support, and I'll see you for another video sometime next week. Until next time, see ya.